and welcome into the Penguin Panel portion of the Jambar Sports Extra. I'm John Ostapowitz alongside co-hosts Will Anderson and Scott Tanner. Of course, a lot has transpired in the world of YSU sports, but we all know Youngstown State University is a part of the Horizon League, the Missouri Valley Football Conference, as well as the Mid-American Conference as well. But, Will, I know there is one league in particular that you would like to highlight here today.
As fall sports get underway, one conference is making headlines off the field. The Coastal Athletic Association, established in 1979, headquartered in Richmond, Virginia, is expanding with new universities and media deals. The league now includes 13 schools, including 2 HBCUs, Hampton and North Carolina A&T. The conference is also attempting to break into mainstream media. Commissioner of CAA, Joe D'Antonio, said it's great to have all these diverse divisions in their conference.
Which is pretty special because you're able to implement and bring into the conference all the traditions that they have, which in many cases are different than some of our other schools. So it's been a privilege and an honor to be able to have those traditions that they have as part of the CAA. So we're really happy with our membership right now.
The conference has partnered with CBS Sports and Flow Sports to air nationally televised games for years to come, a deal that extended in 2023. Teams in the CAA have reached the postseason multiple times, from lacrosse to most recently men's basketball. The conference says it remains focused on providing opportunities for student athletes, both during their careers and after they graduate. As we heard there, the CAA got even better. They're a strong conference as is. We've seen their teams in playoffs, as mentioned. Basketball, first round, they win against Texas Tech. So they're hoping to add some more teams and more schools just to be competitive. How do you guys think it's going to go?
I feel like it's a great it's a great thing that's going to be happening for all the athletes that are in with this, for all their respective colleges. I believe that it's great and to see what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah, and I think one of the most important parts, especially about the CAA, is they're able to take 2 HBCUs, of course, from the SWAC, and the SWAC is one of the most historic conferences, especially with historically black colleges and universities, and they were the first conference to do so, and especially the CAA. You heard D'Antonio talk about it, but another important part about this conference is they're one of the most historic and prominent, whether it's, people talk about the CAA alongside the Big Sky. The Missouri Valley Football Conference is another one that a lot of people compare them to, but you look at their performance, especially Towson in men's lacrosse, in the Final Four that they were able to appear in, and even the University of North Carolina at Wilmington, what they were able to do against Texas Tech, they kept it close, but Youngstown State, of course, against Towson. We've owned them over the past couple of years, and having the opportunity to play them again, what have you seen, especially from football and this conference as well?
The Youngstown State University football team traveled to Towson, Maryland this past weekend and faced off against Towson University at Johnny Unitas Stadium. The game looked like the Tigers were going to add a win to their record with the odds stacked against Youngstown State. The Gwins were down 11 points going into the fourth quarter before number 24 Andrew Lestovic won the game with a walk-off field goal, making the score 31-28. Before the game, senior defensive back Dane Hodge said that he felt more pressure going into the conference play than with regular gameplay following the game. Senior wide receiver Mike Solomon said new players helped drive the team to a road game victory for the first time since 2023.
I feel like this year we brought in a lot of new transfers, a lot of new guys trying to rebuild the team chemistry, just rebuild the team's word. So I feel like this year is a whole different from last year.
YSU took the week off with a bye week, September 27th. This Saturday, the Penguins return to the start of the Missouri Valley Football Conference play against South Dakota State. Kickoff will be at Stambaugh Stadium and is set for 6 p.m. Now, guys, going into this week and going on what happened last week with Towson, how do you guys feel that's going to happen up against South Dakota State?
Well, if you look at it, YSU has been great against Towson. They're 5-0 against them now. Last win came in 1991 when YSU won their first national championship. So they're hoping to, maybe Towson's the key. They're hoping to try to get back to the national championship. They've started good, 3-1, only lost against Michigan State, and they're hoping to take that into conference play.
You talk about taking the keys to the car. How about the big fellas up front, especially that offensive line for Youngstown State University? One of the best in the Missouri Valley Football Conference. I know, especially you, Scott, you were talking about them just a little bit before we went on air here today. And one of the most important parts to why they are so dominant, especially Bo Brungard. We know he loves to run that ball. We know there's a lot of guys in that running back room who can also run. Scott, is there anyone in particular, especially on that offensive line, that you have seen, or what have you sseen from that line in general?
Well, what I've seen through that line is that sometimes they do need to make some improvements off of there. The last game, something happened against Towson where they, for some reason, allowed 10 quarterback pressures, which against Michigan State and the other schools, they only allowed 3 to 4 per game, which you always want to have that to around 0. But there is much to improve going into more of the conference play.
Right, you want to talk about much improved. How about the Youngstown State University women's volleyball team as they closed out non-conference play with 2 hard-fought losses at Beagley Center this week on September 18th. The Penguins dropped a 4-set match to Akron. Senior Abby Householder led the way with 15 kills in 9 digs, while junior Gabriella Machine added 11 kills. Freshman Bree Habib commanded the defense with 16 digs, and Presley Stokes made an impact in her home debut with a career-high 7 kills. The next night, YSU pushed Kent State to the brink in 5 sets before falling in a 16-14 decision. Householder posted a career night, finishing with 22 kills and 21 digs, becoming just the 20th player in program history to record a 2020 match. Machine and freshman Lane Graffis chipped in 11 kills apiece, while junior Julia Sell returned from injury to contribute in the front row. The Penguins now turn their attention to Horizon League play, opening with a 2-match series at Green Bay on September 26. And we talked about, especially in the Horizon League standings, where it is now. They're in 3rd, going up against some of these teams that have been prolific inside. I know that Green Bay, they have lost their luster this year. They're 1-10. They're usually 10-1 on the season by now, but this is the first time that Youngstown State has started with the record that they have, 6 wins going into conference play. They're starting at a great sledding. What have you guys seen from them, and some players that you would also like to highlight here today?
Well, we see on there, when we heard through the story, we heard a lot about a freshman going on and playing, which is great to hear. And it's even better to hear that the senior is taking advantage of her moment and teaching going along with everything and teaching the freshmen what to do.
Yeah, Abby Householder, we mentioned her in the story, got a 2020 game. Last season, she was on the Horizon League 2nd team. She's trying to get her luster, keep that up. She's playing great so far this season, had the 2020 game, but she's also had 7 other games this far with a double-double with kills and digs. So she's playing great for the team, and she's definitely part of their success so far.
Right, you want to talk about success, just real quick, just to highlight it, the big 3 of Machine, Householder, and Graffis as well. Over 400 kills on the season. What a conference play tournament it's going to be, especially for this team. But we'll be right back here, especially on the Penguin panel, for more sports when we return only on the Jambar Sports Extra.
We know you hear it all the time. Why Youngstown State University? Why go to a school in the Mahoning Valley of northeastern Ohio, surprisingly beautiful as that may be? Why live on a campus that sits on the edge of the Rust Belt, historic and inspiring as that may be? In short, why choose Youngstown State? Here's why. Because when it comes to engineering, medicine, sports, business, and the skills you need to take your place in the future, we take a back seat to nobody because you can afford us. And we will afford you the opportunity to build the future you want and the life you desire. Why Youngstown State? Because we care about you, your success, and our future. Together. Youngstown State University. Now you know why.
Welcome back to break. Running along, we're going to toss it to Will on more about cross country.
The Youngstown State University cross country team hosted the YSU Invitational on September 20th. For the first time this season, the team competed at the Gorby Family Championship cross country course in the women's 5K and men's 8K. The men's side finished second overall with 47 points, being led by senior Josh Jones, who placed second individually with a time of 26 minutes and 28 seconds. While on the women's side, the team finished third with a team total of 65 points. In her season debut, sophomore Lindsey Plant placed sixth with a time of 19 minutes and 41 seconds. Following the meet, YSU head coach Brian Gorby announced former current runner and current associate head coach Eric Rupi will be inducted into the YSU Hall of Fame this February. The Penguins host another YSU Invitational on September 27th. We heard at the end there, Eric Rupi, prolific runner for YSU. He also is coach, and they've got some records about that. John, do you want to talk a little bit more about him?
Yeah, absolutely. When you look at Eric Rupi, you want to talk about a guy who's been around the block here at Youngstown State University. You also look at his pedigree as well. Some of the people, or some of the runners, especially the student athletes that he has the honor to coach. You look at Madison Cole, one of those all-league players. You look at especially Ryan Meadows, who is here, and he owns a lot of the records here at Youngstown State University, especially some of the Watts records, some of the ones outside for cross country as well in Canfield. You look at Sage Vavro, he's still on this team. He continues his dominant force. But you also look at you look at the women's side as well, that he's also had the honor, as well as even Chase Easterling, who is one of those players that, again, who has just left an impact here at Youngstown State University. But for the both of you, especially where they're heading to Notre Dame, they haven't had the opportunity to go up against Notre Dame in a long time. They used to be a part of the Horizon League. They left in 1995, and they ruled the Horizon League, whether it be the 8 championships as a team they had, especially on the men's side, and even in general, over 20 in track and field. What have you guys seen or you would like to see as all Horizon League teams go to Notre Dame?
Yeah, so this is going to be the first time this season that they're all there, so it'll be a great look into the Horizon League Championship. So we're just hoping the teams stay consistent. We had 3 men finish top 10. We finished 6th and 7th on the women's side, so they're hoping to take that in to these next couple invitationals.
Yeah, you want to talk about another team who's trying to take it in, especially Horizon League play, had a tough outing. Scott, would you like to talk more about a team that has struggled just a little bit and trying to find their footing here?
Horizon League play has officially kicked off for Youngstown State University's women's soccer team. With 2 games at home, they started against Green Bay and won 3-2. The Gwen's first goal came against the redshirt sophomore Sarah Felder off an assist from junior Camille Battel, followed 6 minutes later by a goal from freshman Cameron Rosie, and the last was senior Emma Rigoni. First goal off the season off of an assist by Felder. The Penguins then played Milwaukee and lost 2-0, and the team was under pressure the whole game and outshot 22-7, despite the loss and letting in 2 goals. Head coach Rich Wall was happy with the team's defensive performance.
Overall, still a really good performance, one that I think you can take a lot of positives from. Still way better defensively than we were Thursday night, and so hopefully we can just build off of that defensively.
The team continued conference play with games September 25th and 28th against Cleveland State and Detroit Mercy. To check the score of those games and stay up to date on all things YSU soccer, visit ysusports.com. Now, guys, as you see in that story, YSU's women's soccer team is getting outshot. How do you guys feel about how they're playing towards this in this season?
Yeah, so they're 1-1 now in conference play, only 2 wins overall in the season. And a big part of that is they face tough opponents. We've seen that. They've faced ranked opponent Texas Tech, other Power 4 conference schools. But their defense is allowing too many shots. While their offense just can't muster up the shots they need, they're getting shut down offensively and getting under pressure defensively. That's not a recipe for winning games.
Yeah, Will, you're absolutely right. And you talk about a recipe for success, and the reason why Youngstown State hasn't given up more goals than they have already on the season is the person in the back of the net. It's Maya Namoli. She's already faced 157 total shots. Now, over her 2-year career at Youngstown State, She has officially faced over 500 total shots and 165 saves. She has 68 now on the season. She's one of the best in the Horizon League, but it really is unfortunate that the defense broke down in that game against the Panthers. I know Will and I, we had an opportunity to see that game and have it happen, but she blocked that PK against the Phoenix. She wasn't able to get it done because she went up against Christina Karloff for the Panthers. She's one of those players that has been there for 4 straight years. She knows how to play the game of soccer. Karloff is one of those all-league players. She's been around the block per se, and you can see she knows where to fit it when she has to. But, of course, there's a lot more to talk about, and we'll be right back here, especially on the Penguin Panel on the Jambar Sports Extra when we return after these quick messages.
Why Youngstown State University? Because when it comes to the skills you need to take your place in the world, we take a backseat to nobody. Youngstown State University. Now you know why.
Why Youngstown State University? Because I'm getting a top-tier education without the price tag. I can do anything here. I know why. It's not a question, it's the answer. Youngstown State University. Know why.
Welcome back to the Penguin Panel. Next up, we have a special spotlight segment for you. Meet a student athlete making an impact on and off the track.
My name's Connor Durig. My major is multimedia communication, and I'm also going for a minor in marketing. And I'm also an athlete here. I'm on the track team, and I work as a videographer for all of our sports. I've always had a thing for video editing, like just for years. I've liked doing it. I've enjoyed it so much. And I never really got into sports until my freshman year. I finally got a camera just in time for outdoor track season. So we traveled to NC State, and I took the camera with me and shot video the whole time and put something together. And yeah, I got a lot of good feedback for the video that I made from my teammates. They seemed to really like it, and their feedback helped motivate me to keep going. So I just kept making videos and eventually landed myself a job the next year. I say one of my favorite videos was outdoor conference from last year for track. It was 3 days long, and I walked around the entire time. It was like 17 hours of just shooting video, and I was putting the video together later that night, just like 2 hours every night putting it together. And yeah, that one took a while, but that's one of my favorite ones. I would just recommend just being creative. Just go out there and do what you want, learn new things, and just don't limit yourself. Just be as creative as you want to be.
Wow, is there anything Connor Durig can't do? It doesn't matter if he's running on the track, whether he's shooting for the athletics department, or even having the opportunity to dunk on all of us at the rec center. He does just about everything here at YSU. But of course, that is all the time we have today on the Penguin Panel in the Jambar Sports Extra. On behalf of Will Anderson and Scott Tanner, I've been John Ostapowicz. We'll see you here next time. And of course, go Penguins.
Support for Jambar TV is provided in part by the YSU Foundation and the Jane F. Lamb Charitable Foundation. Thank you.